you see, you make an interesting point there. So you know that, okay, a lot of people, the great people go through hardship before they get the success. But why did you choose to write about failure? Why didn't you choose to write about success?
Right. As I say again, you see, a lot of people, when they wrote about the stories of successful people, they never actually zoom in onto the aspect whereby they really suffer and really bad thing, you know. I have read also others' biography, you know, but they seem to skip that part, you know. I don't know why. And then I realized that it was when I was deep down, you know, when I really fallen, that was the time I really realized what success is about, you know. That was the time. So I realized that, you know, actually, a lot of people have taken success wrongly. They follow what is in the dictionary. Because the dictionary have defined success as achieving a favorable outcome. In other words, if you have not achieved it, means you have failed. And this is the worst definition that have destroyed a lot of people.
How will you define it then?
Yeah, because success should be a journey, not a goal. You see, they put it as if it's a goal. So when you don't achieve it, you feel like a failure, no? You just imagine this kind of definition of why it destroys a lot of people is, when you want to go for something, it means you haven't achieved it, right?
Yeah.
So, with that definition, you feel like a failure, no? But then when you have the other definition, that actually success is a journey towards the goal, you know that the moment you are on the journey, even though you have not achieved it, you feel you have a success consciousness, you know. That is the very great difference, you know. Very, very great difference. That's why sometimes people, I ask in my seminar, I ask people, what is the opposite of success? They told me failure. And that's the wrong answer. In fact, the opposite of success is actually people who didn't try anything, people who don't do anything.
Right.
This is the opposite. In fact, failure is a complementary to success. No? You see, that's why they're always saying that failure is success turned inside out. And then you begin to realize, no. In fact, from there, I live life differently already. Whether good side or bad side, I welcome it. You know, I don't have every day. I mean, you don't meet good people every day. But even if I meet bad people, I will learn from the experience. This is part of my life. I cannot throw it away. But there are people nowadays, they only want the good side. True or not?
Correct.
To me, if you only want the good side and don't want the bad side, you are actually experiencing 50% of your life. That's the thing. So this is the kind of thing which actually through my book, I want to share with a lot of people.
Right. I see. Okay, well, we'll talk further about the book, but I think we need to, you know, go jalan-jalan a little bit. Like, you know, it's such nice weather. Stay with us. We'll delve further into whether you dare to fail or not. So stay with us.
Setiap hari, ikuti perkembangan utama mengikut perspektif kita.
Seorang juruterbang terbunuh apabila helikopter milik sebuah stesen televisyen terhempas di Sao Paulo, Brazil. Kenyataan yang dibuat Iran adalah tidak rasional, malah mendakwa pemimpin sering membuat kenyataan berbau politik.
To express themselves freely and to do so without.
Disampaikan oleh dua generasi baru dan berpengalaman setiap hari jam 1 petang di Astro Awani, berita segenap dimensi.
Okay, so we're back with Billy Lim. Now, Billy, we want to talk about failure and, you know, how does one go through it and all. But let's create like a base for everybody to understand. Is there, you know, in any form of literature, or how do you understand, does the Chinese face adversity? How do the Chinese traditionally and culturally go through hardship? Is there a certain way that people do it?
Yeah, in fact, if you were to look through the history of Chinese literature, there's always a saying in Chinese, they call, they say, 失败是成功之母. 失败是成功之母, which means failure is the mother of success.
Right.
But even though they say like this, I tell you, a lot of Chinese also don't understand. They do not understand, just like what they say, like failure is success turned inside out. They don't understand that. A lot of people don't understand that, but it's actually true. Because sometimes you look at the word, like the word opportunity.
Yeah.
Opportunity, the word in Chinese is called 机会. It is a combination of two other words, no? 危机, you know, and then another 机 is become like crisis and then meeting.
Right,
So when
okay.
crisis and meeting, when there are a lot of crises and they meet together, there's opportunity. So they work through. So from here,
okay.
in fact, if you were to look at the history of China, since our long ancestors, they have gone through great hardship, gone through hardship. Why is it that nowadays you notice that the whole world, you notice that somehow rather Chinese is always associated with being able to do business, being able to go through a thing. It is like in the gene, For so many years now, they've been struggling. That's why the same thing, even like in Malaysia, the Malays, because they are too short, you see, they only got about 200 years history. So you don't have this kind of experiences in the gene.
Referencing lah.
So you must start to begin. You will take time, but you must start to begin. But of course, if you give them a special training, you can cut short the learning curve. That can be done. Special training so that suddenly what they people need to learn for years can be accumulated.
So what's this special training that you're talking about?
In fact, I have one.
Yeah.
I have a special seminar called Dilahirkan untuk hidup bebas, born to be free. This one will clear off all our limiting beliefs, all our fears. I clean it off first, and then we put in the real positive one, and we put in the realization of the real definition of success and what is failure. So they begin to grasp it very fast, So with that in their heart, they can continue without giving up. Because if you look at all the stories of all these successful businessmen, even from Bill Gates to Jeff Bezos to Jerry Yang, whatever, you notice one thing, they persevere, they never give up, This is the key. But how do you develop this? It is an emotional thing, That's why you need to have an emotional program, frankly speaking, to develop the emotion. It can be done because I have developed.
Another interesting thing that we could think about is, in any city in the world, you will have Chinatown. So the Chinese people, traditionally and culturally, will always be able to go through, hardship to set themselves somewhere. So, what do you say about this?
Yes, you are very correct, You see, when you put a Chinese together in the southern community, it becomes a Chinatown. But if you put some black people, the Negroes, and it becomes a ghetto. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it is all because of the back tradition, You see, when you go into the Chinese, they will trade among themselves, and that's why the economy grows. It is very funny. That's why sometimes when I look at it, it's important that, like for example, if let's say we want to build a community, or business people from the Kaum Melayu or what, they need to mix around with us to understand how this thing works. They cannot just stay together in their kampung and then they are not exposed to the corporate side. They will never learn. You see, you look carefully. Right now we are here in the USJ. You notice it's booming or not?
Yeah.
The last 2 months, the property prices have shot up by 20%. The property shot up.
Why?
Why? Because they already see the LRT coming. The LRT, there are 5 stations on this Jalan Kewajipan. Frankly speaking, now is the right time. Now is the beginning of the curve. It will keep on going up. By the time the station is all been done up. So we can see the trend. You see now? And then for that matter, like the Chinese community, we are not exposed to a lot of land. You see, once last time when our forefathers came, they have no land at all. You know what I mean? So land to them is very precious. But for the Malays in the kampung, so much land, so they may not value it the way the other community value it. So it becomes a very important thing. That's why it's all in the psychic.
So how can we work together in like this?
Yeah, that's why like today, even when you do this program broadcast to the different community, when they realize, and it makes sense. So they may want their children to also get involved like that.